The atmosphere transforms from bizarre playground nostalgia to absolute, paralyzing terror. Hundreds of players in green tracksuits stand before a towering, uncanny animatronic doll. At first, it feels like a twisted reality show or a strange joke, until the first player flinches after "red light" is called. The deafening crack of a sniper rifle echoes through the courtyard, and the player drops into the dirt. A collective wave of realization hits the crowd: if you lose, you die. Panic erupts instantly. In a frantic, blind rush to escape, desperate players sprint back toward the locked doors, triggering a mechanical flurry of gunfire from the hidden walls. Dozens are cut down in seconds, their bodies piling up as the giant doll stands watch with emotionless, rotating eyes. Amid the absolute carnage, Ji-hun freezes in place, completely paralyzed by fear as a spraying jet of blood splashes across his face. It is the exact moment his reality shatters, realizing that survival requires total immobilization, steel nerves, and abandoning everything except the instinct to live. In the artificial glow of a simulated sunset alleyway, the ultimate psychological horror unfolds. Ji-hun realizes that the partner he chose to protect, the frail, elderly Il-nam, is the very person he must defeat to survive. As the marbles game progresses, Il-nam's creeping dementia forces Ji-hun to make an agonizing choice: exploit his friend's confusion or face execution. The emotional devastation peaks when the old man reveals he knew he was being tricked the entire time, offering his final marble not out of ignorance, but out of genuine affection, leaving Ji-hun broken and weeping as a gunshot rings out behind him. The ultimate childhood playground game becomes a primitive, desperate gladiatorial arena. Under a torrential downpour, Ji-hun and Cho Sang-woo stand face to face inside the massive chalk outline of the Squid. The psychological weight of the entire tournament boils over into pure, visceral violence as the two childhood friends tear into each other with steak knives. There is no strategy left, no grace, only the frantic, mud-soaked struggle for the right to breathe. Sang-woo fights with the cold, ruthless survival instinct that got him this far, while Ji-hun is driven by absolute fury and grief over the deaths of Se-byeok and the others. They trade brutal blows, kicking up wet earth as the masked guards and wealthy VIPs watch from dry, warm luxury. Ji-hun finally manages to overpower Sang-woo, pinning him to the ground with a knife raised over his chest. But as he looks down at his bleeding friend, Ji-hun's humanity breaks through the rage. He refuses to take Sang-woo's life to claim the money. Turning his back on the prize at the very last second, Ji-hun invokes the clause to end the game by a majority vote, begging Sang-woo to just come home with him. In a heartbreaking act of tragic finality, Sang-woo stabs himself in the neck, sacrificing himself so that Ji-hun can take the money to take care of his mother. From a sprawling arena to a suffocatingly quiet, private face-off. The mysterious recruiter, the smooth-talking salesman who lures desperate souls into the game, tracks a hardened, vengeful Ji-hun to his fortified hiding spot. The recruiter is as calm and impeccably dressed as ever, but his mask of polite corporate efficiency slips, revealing a deeply twisted, self-important sadist. He drops a bombshell about his past, admitting he was once a player who went so far as to kill his own father inside the games to survive. To the recruiter, the impoverished and indebted aren't victims, they are subhuman scum who bring ruin upon themselves. He places a heavy, cold revolver on the table between them, challenging Ji-hun to a game where the currency isn't cash or slaps to the face, but their literal brains. The psychological warfare shifts from the arena to the sleeping quarters. A subtle rule change by the front man allows players to vote to execute each other during the nightly lockdown to increase the prize pool faster. The narrative peaks during a claustrophobic, pitch-black riot where alliances fracture instantly. The camera cuts between the chaotic, strobe-lit violence in the shadows and the cold, detached monitors of the control room, highlighting the brutal truth that the creators don't even need to design games anymore, the desperation of humanity will do the killing for them. Ji-hun doesn't fight, he collapses to his knees, shoot him and end the torment. The series reaches its absolute climax in Sky Squid Game. Suspended high in the air above a dizzying abyss, 3 remaining contestants occupy massive, elevated stone pillars. Ji-hun, the treacherous crypto trader Myung Ji, and the newborn baby of the deceased player 222, whom Ji Hun swore to protect. The rules are unyielding: to advance across the final towers and we are humans. And humans are. Leaving the sentence beautifully unfinished, Ji Hun deliberately steps backward off the edge, falling to his death.